You drink in the pungent corpse. Since you awoke on the ship, your mind has been cold and empty, but something stirs. With your hands close to this body, you know nothing of why, but you find a half smile flittering across your face. As soon as you delve into your mind, it is filled with flashes of 1,000 different dead. There is something unknown and unspeakable deep within your heart. As you writhe with sickly dreams, a deep dread floods you. Though you have a tadpole, you know your broken mind is not like the others who bear the worm. A few scraps of the past come back to you now and then, but you can never quite tell where the knowledge comes from. Inexplicable, violent yearnings overwhelm all other thoughts. Who could you possibly be to be their vessel? Images of the Underdark's famed torments sometimes flicker in your head, but your place amongst your kin seems long lost. It must have been a very long time since you were among your kind. When you try to think of a home, your mind twists itself back to indulge in the delights of the day. You recall waking up, hearing the pounding war drum, as you writhe with sickly dreams, though you have a tadpole, a few scraps, inexplicable, violent year, a friend of daggers. All your skills match those of a hot-blooded killer. You recall waking up, hearing the pounding war drum of blood. How much you treasured the sight of the first corpse you touched. As you writhe with sickly dreams, a deep dread floods you. Though you have a tadpole, you know you're broken. A few inexplicable, violent yearnings overwhelm. You recall waking up, hearing the pounding war drum of blood. How much you treasured the sight of the first corpse you touched. As you writhe with sickly dreams, a deep dread. Though you have a tadpole, you know you're a few scraps of inexplicable, violent yearnings overwhelm. There are many, many more kills ahead of you. That is you, a killer. You recall waking up, hearing the pounding war drum of blood. How much you treasured the sight of the first corpse you touched. As you writhe with sickly dreams, a deep dread floods you. Though you have a few inexplicable, violent yearnings overwhelm once. But now, you recall waking up, hearing the pounding war drum of As you writhe with sickly dreams, a deep dread floods you. Though you have a tadpole, you know your broken mind is not like the others who bear the worm. A few scraps of the past come back to you now and then, and you can never quite tell where the knowledge comes from. Inexplicable, violent yearnings overwhelm all other thoughts. Who could you possibly be to be their vessel? There are many, many more kills ahead of you. That is you, a killer. You recall waking up, hearing the pounding war drum of blood. How much you treasured the sight of the first corpse you touched. Your body feels aroused, imagining a broken, twisted neck, and a thrill thinking of a trailing intestine. As these images flood your mind, you fall soundly asleep like a babe in arms. Blood, 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 blood.
blasted door, What? Stop! Not another step or I'll... Wait. It's you. You're the one who tried to free me on the ship. At least, you made the effort.
Suddenly you see what she sees, feel what she feels. Confusion, resolve, and a hint of gratitude.
Did you feel that? You've got the same thing I do, in your head. Well, I'm not most. I respect Drow. I've no quarrel with you unless you make one. Anyway, we've both got more pressing concerns, like these tadpoles in each of our heads. These things are going to consume us from the inside and turn us into mind flayers. I don't know much, but enough to be afraid. This is how they breed. We host their spawn, and once they're ready, they'll tear right through us. I'm not sure how much time we have left, but I'm not going to wait to find out. You and I need a healer. Finding one won't be easy in this wilderness. We'll need supplies. I'm hoping something of use might be behind this door, but I've barely made a dent in it so far. Be my guest, but that door's too strong. Maybe there's another way, up the cliff. Hopefully there's no more of these things. Well, these things have been giving me plenty of practice, but I'd rather get out of here than push my luck. No, unless you count these monsters. You're the friendliest face so far, which really isn't saying much. Was that a threat? It was a bit toothless. You're out of your element here, I think. You're the friendliest face so far, which really, or just company for our final moments. But you're right. Whatever lies ahead will be a little less daunting with support. You can call me Shadowheart. I've never met a drow with a sense of humor. Perhaps we'll get along. Lead the way. Something the matter? I understand why you ask, but memory loss is not as uncommon as you'd think. There may be other causes. We haven't gone all that far yet. What are you referring to exactly? Must I? Thinking about it won't help. We know what to do, so let's do it. Find a way to rid ourselves of these things. We've no solid leads right now, though. We'd best get hunting. If you discover anything that might help us, I'm all ears. We go our separate ways, of course. What else? The ties that bind would be well and truly severed. We were brought together by circumstance. Besides, I have my own people in Baldur's Gate. And before you ask, no. I'm not telling you what I'm doing there, or who I'm meeting, or anything else. You're not the kind of company I'd keep willingly, but all things considered, you'll do. So that's to say you'd like to pry a little. You do seem like the type, I must say. Inquisitive, looking for connection. It's every man for himself, and you're looking to make friends. Admirable, I suppose. Or desperate. I'm not quite sure. Oh, I think you'll find that I am. Knowing what makes people tick is a skill of mine. If you want something from a person, you need to know when and where to squeeze. Don't get too ahead of yourself. I'm just having a little fun. But who's to say? I might need a distraction some evening. These campsites do get cold. I suppose. I also suppose I'll have to rely on myself to stave off boredom. Was there something else? But who's to say? I might need a distraction some evening. These campsites do get cold. More of those wretched things.
Looks unstable somehow.
You approach the sigil on the stone. Magic glitters and swirls from it erratically, as if malfunctioning. It looks slightly dangerous.
A hand? Anyone? That's it! Go on! Keep pulling! Oh. Hello. I'm Gale of Waterdeep. Apologies. I'm usually better at this. That magic. Say, but I know you, don't I? In a manner of speaking. You were on the Norse Lloyd as well. And I can only assume you too were on the receiving end of a rather unwelcome insertion in the ocular region. No use sugarcoating it, is there? The insertee we speak of, this parasite, are you aware that after a period of excruciating gestation, it will turn us into mind flayers? It's a process known as ceramorphosis, and let me assure you, it is to be avoided. You don't happen to be a cleric by any chance, do you? A doctor? Surgeon? Uncannily adroit with a knitting needle?
You seem to know enough about our condition to realize it's beyond most clerics' skills.
Most, no doubt, but I find myself hoping to be in the presence of the few. You don't happen to be one of them. As we've established, few enough can. It's not exactly a common affliction. We're most certainly going to need a healer, and soon, too. How about we lend each other a helping hand once more and look for a healer together? Most excellent. A parasite shared is a parasite halved, or something to that effect. Oh, but before you think you're about to embark on a journey with most ill-mannered a man, thank you for pulling me out of that stone. It was an act of foresighted kindness, I assure you. For I have the feeling ample opportunities will present themselves for me to return the favor. You're not versed in magic, are you? No matter to worry the unlettered over. If you meet any elder wizards, let me know. There is a matter I'd like to seek advice on from a master. What's on your mind? Let's see. I hail from Waterdeep, city of splendors. I am a wizard of considerable acclaim and scholar of exceptional accomplishment. I have a cat, a library, and a weakness for a good glass of wine. And if the mood takes me, I'm known to try my hand at poetry. There. Didn't that paint enough of a picture? Memory loss isn't usually a symptom of ceramorphosis. If it is, they've forgotten to write it down in any text I've read on the subject. Then again, our case isn't exactly usual. Perhaps whatever's causing our tadpoles to remain in stasis has also affected your mind. If ceremorphosis takes place, all trace of your former self will be subsumed into the Mind Flayer's hive. So, to still be here, if a mite forgetful, still a win in my book. We all have those from time to time. I once wished a most impure demise on a colleague of mine who bore the last remaining copy of Etheril's Enchiridion of Enchanting Easements. It's a first edition, too. As regards to your own morbid little fantasies, I'm sure they're nothing to worry about, so long as they remain fantasies.
I've heard you can't get blood from a stone, but apparently you can get a wizard from one. Gale seems interesting. Dead goblins over there. Worth checking for supplies, maybe.
I hear shouting up ahead.
We should check it out, but be careful.
There, a mind flayer, and it's hurt.
You approach the dying monster. This is the thing that abducted you. You could end its life here and now, if only you didn't feel compassion. Compassion. Yes, you feel hate. And you deserve to be punished for it. You should be whipped, made to bow before this creature in shame. It's possessing your mind, forcing you to love it, but then the feeling slips. The creature's mind seems to focus elsewhere. The monster lies exhausted, defeated. Its eyes, wet orange pearls, radiate malice.
Monster. Death is too good for it.